Hello everyone, it's Crazy Boy here, and welcome back to another video. Now, it's been a while since I did one of these. I'm just going to make sure my mic is in position right here. Now, it's been a while since I did one of these, but the devs just posted their year 3 anniversary live stream, and I literally sat there for the entire hour and a half, making sure I didn't miss anything, and I had to say, unfortunately, there wasn't anything important for console. But I did learn a lot of stuff about what's going on. So I'm going to break it all down for you. And before anybody even says that I'm milking this and people can just go watch the dev stream themselves, the biggest reason I'm making this is because a lot of people either miss the dev live stream or they don't have the time to watch an hour and a half long live stream. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and break it all down into one video, and I have it all typed up on my computer, and it's like 3 fucking pages. So, I'll put my remote over here. The first thing we might as well start with in the year 3 anniversary live stream recap is our new killer. Obviously, our new killer is Ghostface. Now, with that being said, I have not done anything on Ghostface, but for any of you who do not know, they just released a trailer. It has been confirmed there is no new map or survivor with Ghostface. It is just Ghostface. But they did give us his lore, his power, and his perks. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give that to you guys. So our lore. The man behind the mask is Jed Olson. He was a small-town journalist during the day, and he investigated the murders that he committed at night. And as he was going on, eventually, people started to get suspicious of him, and he tried to go to another city and start over. And unfortunately, the entity had other plans for him. So that's all they've really given us right now. But from what it seems, the devs feel like he is more of a killer, where he would have welcomed the realm. He would have went to the realm willingly instead of being forced there by the entity. His power is called Nightshroud. Nightshroud reduces his terror radius to 0, and it makes it significantly harder to detect. So what his power does is his power allows you to crouch. You won't emit your red stain, and you can lean out from behind cover to stalk survivors. You can stalk them without leaning out from behind the corners. It'll just take a bit longer. So, after stalking survivors for 4 seconds, they become marked or exposed for 20 seconds. Survivors can spot Ghostface within 32 meters by looking at him for at least 1 second, and that'll bring him out of his stalk power. So, you're probably going to want to wait and make sure the coast is clear before you try and stalk a survivor, because if they spot you, you're screwed. You're going to be playing hide and seek with them pretty much. Now we're going to go over his perks. Keep in mind, guys, the numbers for these perks are subject to change. His first perk is called I'm All Ears. If a survivor performs a rushed action outside of your terror radius, their aura is shown to you for 6 seconds, and this perk works on a cooldown. We do not know the numbers of that cooldown. His second perk is called Thrilling Tremors. When you pick up a downed survivor or interrupt an action, it will block any generators not being completed by other survivors for 16 seconds. The generators blocked will be highlighted in white, and this also works on a cooldown. So, this perk I feel like is going to be especially useful because it'll stop them from getting on generators. If nobody's on a generator right now because they're not working on generators, they're not focusing on that, it'll block off all of them. And you'll know what their main intentions are, if it's hook saves or actually doing the generators, so you know how to prevent that, and you'll know which gens they're on to go fix it. Of course, it won't work if your generators are right next to each other and they see another one being blocked. His last perk is called Furtive Chase. This is an obsession perk. When the killer hooks the obsession, they gain a token up to a maximum of 2, 3, or 4 tokens based on the level. And for each token, your terror radius will be decreased for 4 meters while in a chase. And that is all we know on Ghostface. The only other thing we know about Ghostface is the chapter release, and they have confirmed the chapter release for all platforms, PC, PS4, and Xbox One, will be on June the 18th. On June the 18th, everybody will have access to Ghostface. Next up, I know you guys probably already saw something else, a certain little rework in their little teaser trailer they did. That is actually going to be one of the last things I cover. I think it's like second to last on my list. Next, we're going to go over the new content. So for our new content in our Year 4 roadmap, we have 4 new chapters, including Ghostface. He's our first chapter. I know some people are severely disappointed in this. They don't count him as a chapter because it didn't come with the Survivor. They just call him a paragraph chapter is apparently what we're calling it now. I consider it a chapter regardless. Like, people need to stop being bitchy and selfish because y'all wanted Ghostface originally, so y'all need to be happy that you're getting Ghostface now. But I guess people always want more because they're greedy. So this will include 2 new maps and 2 reworked maps. And the one map we know is getting a rework for a fact is Badham Preschool in Springwood. That's Freddy's map. And the other map is unknown. They also said that they're going to be going back and updating a whole bunch of maps that they've already had because they feel like they need to change after the 3 years that we've been playing the game for. The devs said they're going to be introducing things that they said, and I quote, "You didn't even know you wanted." So this could be very, very interesting to see what they consider. I'm also excited to see what the future chapters are. They're adding in something called the Archives, and I'm going to touch on this a bit later, but it is similar to the Crypt in Mortal Kombat X for any of you who have played that. They're going to be doing art refresh and gameplay update in the map rework so that the gameplay is more, and I quote, tense and brings back uncertainty. So they're trying to kind of renew this whole concept of... They're trying to renew the whole concept of being new to the game. They're trying to renew the whole concept of fear, not knowing what's going to happen. Because right now, the whole concept of fear has been negated. Nobody's afraid of the killers anymore, except maybe Michael. Because Michael is, well, he's Michael, as you can see right here. So that's not the best. You want people to have that sense of fear they had when they first got it. And honestly, I'm kind of okay with this. Because I would do anything to feel like I'm playing this game for the first time again, man. It was amazing. Dedicated servers are on the way. As you already know, they're targeted for summer of this year. So that is definitely something to look forward to. Although, I hope they are better than the test. Because I heard the test dedicated servers were dog shit. Here's a good one for all you people who don't like disconnecting. They're going to manage disconnecting, so this means less penalty for the survivors remaining in the game. So if someone leaves and they haven't completed a generator, I'm assuming it's going to like remove a generator from your counter, possibly. While others who disconnect too much are, and as he put it, treated in a special way. And then Matthew looked at him and he said, "That's putting it mildly." So I assume there's going to be a good ban penalty for disconnecting one too many times, and there honestly needs to be, because I get fed up with it quite often. It's not right to the other survivors. You ruin their fun. It's not right to the killer because you're ruining his fun and you're robbing him of points. They're adding an optimization for consoles. That's always nice. For all you people who hate the frame rate drops due to certain things, this is for you. They are showing focus on specific perks or powers that cause lag spikes or frame rate drop in general. So, the Doctor. All you people who have been affected by Doctor's lag because of all the shit you have going on around your screen due to his power, they are going to fix. Which, hallelujah, praise Jesus, because we definitely needed that. The amount of frame rate drop I've had from a fucking Doctor is unbelievable. I couldn't count it all on fucking one hand. I couldn't count it all on all my fucking limbs on my body. And for all you people who have been asking for it, in-party management. Your friends are now shown in the game, and your party is now hosted on the servers instead of within the actual game. And because this is a thing now, they officially are going to add friend requeue, which means when you do an SWF and you leave the lobby afterwards, it'll take you back to your SWF, and you don't have to re-invite them. People have been asking this for so long of the devs, and they have finally did it. So this is proof they do listen to their community. And that is all we have for the new content. I also apologize if I'm raping my mic. Now we're going to talk about the archives. So the archives adds new goals for players, and it'll expand the universe, it gives more stories about the characters, and more. The archive is a new way to collect cosmetics, and it is considered a new part of the entity realm. The archives will add a new character called the Observer, the Archivist, or even the Prisoner. And the Observer can probe the fog and find bits of story on characters which will be accessible as cutscenes. So, you will be able to discover the lore behind all the killers and all the survivors again, and you'll be able to watch them as cutscenes to kind of get more background info besides just their bio. Where are we at? Every 6 weeks between chapters, I believe they said it was called a tomb, but I could be wrong due to the guy's accent. Killer stories, survivor stories, and one story that expands the realm will be added. Charms are found in the archives. Charms can be placed on the survivor's belt or on the killer's hooks. The charms are awarded for completing missions on difficulties. There's 4 difficulties, and the charm correlating with the difficulty will be awarded upon completion, obviously. And then every 6 weeks, when they add in that new stuff, it creates something called a rift. The rift... hold on, I lost my place. In the rift, you can complete quests within the tomb, which will award the players new cosmetics. So it's pretty much cosmetics for free. You don't have to pay for them. I feel like it's going to be really popular with certain players who want the cosmetics, but they can't afford them. And everything in the rift is not pay to win. This is important. They didn't specify it as strictly cosmetics. There is no pay to win in here at all, which I'm happy they didn't sell out. And the estimated date for all the archive stuff is mid-chapter 13. Next, we have a brief little rank rework. So, the devs talked about wanting to have a complete rank rework. They want meaningful rank rewards, and longer rank seasons. So, the rank seasons will be longer than I think they're currently a month. And you will have rewards for ranking up, which, finally, because now it'll encourage people to rank up instead of sitting at lower levels. Thank you, devs. I appreciate that one. The new rank will compare killers with killers and not survivors because they thought this didn't make sense. So I believe what this means is that you have a higher chance of getting survivors who play your killer. So for example, I play Hillbilly. I P3 Hillbilly. I have a higher chance of getting people who play Hillbilly as killer as my survivors. Which means you're going to have to be a bit more competitive in the sense that mind gaming, because they already know how to play that killer. This could be a problem, though, considering if you play a killer with not a lot of players, you can keep getting the same people, and that's just not fun. Next, we had the moment I know you have all been waiting for. The thing I've seen probably requested the most in the community. The Freddy Rework. So, the Freddy Rework adds a new sleep cycle and dream abilities for Freddy, completely reworks his entire power so they can reestablish what they want the nightmare to be. So, we're going to go over the sleep cycle. So, the new sleep cycle, Freddy is invisible past a certain distance while awake, but completely visible while asleep. While awake, Freddy is only completely visible while within a tight range, and the terrorities is now heard by default instead of the lullaby. So now it'll be easier to detect him because you couldn't hear the lullaby over the generators, and it was kind of annoying. You now fall asleep over the time of 60 seconds, I guess, before you get the regression penalty, and he can see your aura through walls. And Freddy can now hit players as soon as he puts them to sleep. There is no waiting for them to fall asleep required. So that should be interesting. Any failed skill check will now wake up a survivor, which now includes sabotage when before it was just healing and generators. So that is amazing. I'm glad they added that. And there will always be a dream object to interact with. It'll be an alarm clock while in the dream state that will instantly wake the survivor up, and you can see the aura of that. I did already see the footage of it. So that's going to be good for when everybody is asleep and you need something to wake you up, because that was one of people's biggest complaints. Um, so his dream abilities. He has dream traps and pallets. He can place the dream pallets on spawn points throughout the map, and survivors who are awake can't see the dream pallets, which means that they'll be playing a memory game for when they get put to sleep to know where the pallets are at. Don't know how many he has. They never specify. But when these dream pallets are dropped, they will explode into blood. I don't think it harms the survivor. It'll just give out a bunch of blood, I guess. I guess it's effective for when they think they're safe. And he has dream snares. So, hold on. Oh yeah, okay. The dream snares only affect the sleeping survivors. So, it can be placed on the ground and takes 2 seconds to arm, and when a survivor walks over it, it'll reduce their movement speed for 15 seconds. Once again, never specified how many of these he has. I'm going to assume probably like 5 to 10, like the Hag. So, anywhere between that amount. I think is a safe assumption. And his final ability is called the Generator Teleport. So he can now teleport to generators. All he's got to do is aim at a generator. And if you saw the little charge up bar by his power, he'll be channeling for 5 seconds. And while channeling, the generator that he's teleporting to will explode in blood. And his husk will appear next to it. And after the 5 seconds, if he releases, he'll teleport. Or he can cancel it, I assume, by hitting R2, like you cancel everything else. So you definitely want to watch out for this one. You gotta start being more aware with Freddy. So massive buff. I think this is definitely going to put Freddy up in at least high mid tier. We have map reworks now, or game fixes. They're going to do the rework on the pallet loops, and they're going to make sure there's lower there's lower high value loops for more low-value, shorter loops that can't be abused. Pretty much what that means is, say, a loop that goes around and then past a tree to loop back, compared to a loop that just goes around a car. You don't have that extra loop around the tree. They're aiming for more loops kind of around the car, the shorter. It doesn't require, you can't be abused as much, pretty much. So they're going to get rid of those, but they're also going to be adding more of those smaller loops in compensation for getting rid of those larger loops. This is being done to promote, and I quote, more skill-based gameplay, which I kind of agree with, because skill-based gameplay is kind of needed. They're going to fix Fatshaming and hostage spots, like they're doing with the basement currently, and they're going to remove infinite or abusable windows. So this means the windows in the Strode House of Haddonfield could go, because they can easily be abused with balanced landing, and something tells me they're going to fix that. I have a good feeling they're about to fix that one. Community events. We have video art and cosplay contests, and they are also going to start releasing cosplay guides for all of their original characters, which I kind of look forward to. I might have to do something for Halloween with one of those. And they're having a new contest for their fans, so 2 people will be picked to have outfits that they designed implemented in the game for the character they designed it for. That is pretty cool. If you're a creator, make some dope outfits. Come on now, I want to see some of your outfits in the game. And finally, our last announcement is for Switch and mobile players. The Switch release of Dead by Daylight is confirmed for September 14th, 2019, and the mobile release date is still unknown, but it is confirmed it is coming to mobile. So, that, everyone, is going to do it for the live stream recap. So I hope this helped you. I hope the 20-minute video was easier to watch than an hour-and-a-half live stream and picking it all apart. If you liked the video, hit the like button and subscribe. Leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think of the upcoming stuff. Let me know what your opinion is. And please support this video, because I sat through an hour-and-a-half live stream, typed it all on my phone while watching it, and then retyped it on my computer. So I'd appreciate it. Anyways, peace.